Hi everyone, I hope everybody is doing well. I was guided to do a different style of reading than what you're used to on this channel today, and I hope that it reaches you well and everything is guided. So I felt that if I felt guided to do this style of reading today, it's definitely for a reason. So I'm going to be focusing on what big changes are happening in your life next, what you can expect. This is going to be a pick-a-pile reading. There will be 3 groups, group 1, group 2, group 3, or if you want to call it pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, it's okay. What I'm going to do is down in the description box below or in the comment section, I'm going to put the timestamps there that show up as a link so that you can click which group you feel guided to get your message. But I do want to point out that this is an intuitive exercise for you guys. So it doesn't mean that you only have to pick one group. If intuitively something is saying, I am meant to hear every single thing in this reading today, then you do that. You listen to everything. If something inside of you is saying, group 1 and group 3 is meant for me, but not really group 2, then listen to group 1 and group 3. If something is telling you I'm meant to hear all of them, but they're telling me to focus primarily on group 2, even though they're all meant to resonate, you can do it that way. Remember, everyone's journey is different. You have your own private connection with the divine, and they will speak to you and tell you what's meant for you and what's not. So here it goes, and I hope that these messages reach you when they're meant to. Remember, they're always timeless. Lots of love and light to you. Let's just get right to it. So we're going to go right ahead with group number 1. The first thing that I'm going to do is use this book, Heavenly Bodies Astrology, the little guidebook, written by Lily Ashwell. I love this. This is actually a deck. And the deck comes with a book that has the explanations. I'm not using the deck right now, though it's beautiful. What I do is you can use it either way. You can use the deck and then get your own messages from it, or you can just flip through here and wherever it lands, it's the same process. So I'm using it in that way. So let's see what we have here. Oh, okay, Pluto. All right, what I am being guided to read are the keywords and the omen portion of Pluto. That's so interesting because today is the full moon in Leo, and there is a very heavy Pluto influence when it comes to this particular full moon, but I'm just going to go straight into this message. The keywords here, the energetics, it says karma, buried secrets, survival, and the taboo. Yes, because Pluto is all about things that you have hidden deep in the subconscious or the unconscious mind, right? Deep in there. And like I say on this channel a lot of times, it's trippy, but 95% of our actions are dictated by what's in our subconscious. We have programs running down there, non-stop programs. And everything that we do, every thought process that we have, every action that we take is dictated by that. And then what's even trippier is that only 5% of our brain is conscious of it. So you're not even aware that you have these little programs deep in your subconscious, buried in there. You can call it a little voice, okay, in there, guiding you to think and perceive the world in a certain way. And what becomes even more complicated is we all know that thoughts create our reality, right? And we manifest what we think. But not everything that we think and not everything that that drives us is conscious. And that's where it becomes difficult when it comes to manifesting the lives that we want to manifest, because sometimes the biggest blockages that we have come from our subconscious and unconscious mind and things within ourselves that we're not even aware of, that were programmed in there from our past lives, from our childhood, right? How can you tap into that? And before I even read this, I just feel guided to share that. How do we tap into that? Sometimes we need help through maybe hypnosis or meditation. But if you want to know what's in there, you can have a general idea of what you have running in your subconscious and unconscious mind based on the life that you're living around, like what you see around you. It's all a representation of that. What kind of problems do you continuously have? What kind of patterns do you see? You know, all of those things, everything that you see and create is a representation of that. But I'm going to continue on and read this. Because the point of this reading is, okay, what are the big changes? The Spirit wants you to know that you're about to undergo what's about to happen. So for you, a lot of it has to do with what I'm talking about right now. It's about tackling those things, becoming aware of those things. So it says, energetics, karma, buried secrets, survival, the taboo. Experiences, death and rebirth. It's associated with the death card in tarot. Transformation, where you are broken, purged and renewed. Power, sex, and your soul's evolution, right? So Pluto is all about the death card. Doesn't mean literal death. It means the ending of something that was holding you back. In a way, it's a beautiful card because something dies for something new to be reborn, for you to have a new life, for you to have a different experience once and for all. And it's not easy because the death process, dying, is not easy. And I'm not saying that, well, it's not easy in a literal sense either, but we're not speaking literally here. So I don't see that coming in your future, anything scary like that, anything, like that. I mean more in a spirit, we're talking in a spiritual sense. Omen. In the spirit of transformation, remove your armor, connect with your naked essence. This energy comes to free you from the chains of your identity and the story of who you think you are. Call on courage and face the sometimes painful truth of what's no longer serving you. Summon bravery and begin the process of letting go. Open to your boundless nature and allow this regenerative process to leave you cleansed and renewed. Your rebirth starts within and will surely echo outward. Okay? I'm being guided to also read this for you. And then we're going to continue. Within its X-ray vision, Pluto reveals toxicity in the systems you lean on, in complacency and the things you draw on for identity, status, beliefs, careers, relationships. It bears the underbelly of your structures, revealing buried secrets and hidden truths. This is the realm of death and rebirth. It highlights the broken pieces you incarnated to heal in this lifetime, and facing its karmic challenge is your ticket to the evolution of your soul. As it pushes you to shed your layers, it triggers your survival instinct. You may turn to low vibrations, such as manipulation and control, to protect ideas of self. You'll explore these energies through sexuality, where power, shame, submission, and freedom manifest physically. Pluto is your loving, but not so friendly guide through your personal underworld. With this energy, you traverse the taboo into symbolic death and toward your eventual renewal. It pushes you into rock bottoms where, with nothing left to lose, you find the courage to confront your darkness, and somehow in this wasteland, you find your strength and freedom. Now do you see why I love the cards, but a lot of people buy this deck, and I'm not even, I'm not sponsored by her or anything. I just give credit where it's due. Why I actually like to read the book, not just the card, because it's The book itself is her written words are powerful. Okay, it's a great representation of all these cards. Okay, and I feel a lot of people will buy this deck, take this book, throw the book in a drawer, and just use the cards. And this is actually a great book. So that's what I see. Your biggest changes are happening, okay? Spiritually. There is no such thing as positive and negative. I want you to know that. I'm gonna be honest here. What you're experiencing right now, you're gonna experience some tough times. Okay? It says karma, right? You are breaking generational cycles. You are breaking patterns that have been that you have had for many past lives that have been limiting you from moving forward in relationships, in your career. You've had some kind of limit to your evolution, some blockage. So even though this time right now may seem heavy, or you're going to have some heavy times, going to be honest, this reading is happening right now to let you know that it's happening to propel you forward so fast, faster than you've ever experienced before. I'm sure you've experienced hard times in the past. Who hasn't? But this time it's different. You're right there at the precipice of of hopping on a new timeline towards exponential growth, okay? And everything that you've desired, you're going to be able to achieve everything that you've been wanting to achieve for a while, but haven't been able to because of some blockage that you've had inside, okay? I'm gonna pull, I don't use these cards often either, but I'm gonna pull one from here. Shark, okay. It says, swim away from the situation. That's very interesting to me because the image in this card is a mermaid and a merman, but she's pregnant. Okay? So I don't know, this might be a specific message for someone, but not everybody. But if you are pregnant, okay, and you are in some kind of abusive, toxic relationship, part of this rock bottom, this Pluto energy, is having you get to a place where, regardless of what makes you feel, because the pregnancy could also be symbolic, right? Not that you're actually pregnant. But it's symbolic of two things. You being pregnant with a new life. Because it's fertility. You are about to create a new life. It's also symbolic of physical confinement, right? Because being pregnant comes with the idea that the ideal situation, which it is the ideal situation, is to be in a relationship, in a marriage or a relationship, have a home with the father of that child or with your partner. I don't know if you're adopting, if that's the case, right? But again, I'm talking through in terms of symbolism here. It comes with the idea of confinement, right? Of you thinking, well, I have some kind of tie to this person. I have to deal with this person or this situation. But again, you are pregnant with a new life, with a new perspective on life. Okay? So with that Pluto energy there, it's you recognizing what it is in your subconscious, okay, that is attracting people, relationships, and situations in your life that limit your growth, that make you feel bad, okay, that hinder your ability to work on yourself, to recognize your self-worth, that keep you in a bad mental state, that rather are a representation of whatever toxic programming you have, again, with that Pluto energy in your subconscious. Maybe there's some kind of wounds that you have in there about your worthiness, something you haven't dealt with. A voice inside that tells you you're not enough, or maybe you never had even the modeling, the physical representation in your life of what a healthy relationship or what's healthy is. Maybe you weren't really modeled how to self-regulate or what's okay, what's not, and that is fine. But just because our subconscious is programmed with some kind of things doesn't mean you got to live that for the rest of your life. You have a choice to love yourself enough to go into that Pluto energy, to go within and purge those things, figure out what they are or that are holding you back, so that you can, again, swim away from any situation that keeps you from giving birth to this new life that you want. Because right now with this card, I'm seeing exactly that, right? I'm seeing physical people or physical things, but it's showing me here as like people. Because you see, he's here trying to stop her while she's trying to get away, maybe trying to get in your head or discourage you from something that you're trying to accomplish or something that you're trying to go after. And I want you to understand that everybody doesn't have to understand your journey, and it is a journey that only you need to understand. That doesn't mean that you have to go through it alone. What I mean by that is, it's better to go through this journey not with the same people that you've been on this journey with this entire time, right? Because they're a part of this timeline. I'm speaking, if you need to talk to another person, someone neutral, a counselor, a psychologist to get you through this, a spiritual advisor, then you do that, okay? But I need you to swim away from the same people, the same advice, okay? You are being led, I gotta keep it real, as it said, to rock bottom. And I'm sorry. And I want to give you a hug. But I want you to know that Spirit led you here to tell you that they are not leading you to rock bottom to ruin your life. They don't want you to go into whatever situation you're experiencing and say, I can't deal with the stress. Why is this happening to me? Why? They brought you here to bring you, to give you the knowledge so that you don't forget that when you experience whatever tough times are about to happen or are happening, it is because, remember, the purpose of this, I was guided to this reading today, the purpose of this is what big changes are happening next, meaning literally next. It means this time, it's not the same as the last time. This time, it's just so that you can say goodbye to those things that are holding you back. Because you're about to have a brand new life, a new lease on life, new opportunities. She's pregnant. Again, doesn't have to mean, this is not a health channel, so I don't really like to talk about those things. This doesn't have to mean physical pregnancy. It means birth, death and rebirth. You're about to give birth to things that may seem new to you. And that's always a tough journey on its own, because whenever you're giving birth to new things, you have to go through the fool's journey, like the Fool card, right? Don't worry, we're gonna pull tarot, but you guys know I'm a channeler, right? Also, I'm getting messages directly through Spirit. So it's like, so once you go through the death process, you become a newborn again. So it might be a little bit of a challenge. But who says good things come easy? What you're being commended for is the bravery of doing the work and finally saying no to the things that have been holding you back. And if you fall, Spirit wants you to know, again, the dying process is not easy. Just keep pushing, because you're about to give birth to something brand new, to a new outlook, a new experience. And everything that you thought was going to be impossible is, I'm telling you, and I want you to believe me, there is a voice inside of you that might be saying, I'm getting with this energy, no, nothing's ever going right. It's not, nothing's manifesting. I keep hearing messages that this is manifesting, but like I'm in the same situation. No. What you want is going to manifest. Okay? Once you swim away from these situations that are holding you back. This is also a call, again, for bravery. This is a call for you to have bravery and courage to say no to people and things. Okay, so now we're talking about specifics. There might be literally a person here that is holding you back or telling you no, or getting in your head. The naysayers. I need you now more than ever to not listen to these people. And if there is something that you're in or a job environment that's toxic, I need you, I know you might have doubts, but you need to put your limits, you need to walk away, okay? Dude, it says shark. Oh, that's not a merman. My goodness. Well, nothing's an accident. The fact that the card literally says shark, and somewhere in my mind, that's an omen within itself. Somewhere in my mind, I literally, like it's in my face. He looks like a shark and it says shark, but I still said merman. But that's an omen. You saw how I was completely oblivious to the fact that it was a shark? Even though it says it, that's what you're going through. Or you have experience. It's like because of your whatever's in your subconscious that you're purging. You have been going all this time without even realizing that there's a shark in front of you. That goes hand in hand with the messages we were giving. Because there was nothing inside of you. Maybe you weren't modeled how to detect the things that are not good for you. Notice how after I gave that message, that's when I was like, oh, wow, wait, that's a shark. You're being gifted that. You're being gifted the gift of discernment. And that's beautiful, okay? Once you have that, honey, everything, it's up from there. That's what I read said, it's up from there. Because once you have that, listen, there are sharks everywhere on this planet. There's devil energy everywhere. But why, you might say, why are there so many people that just have beautiful lives, are always happy, never have these experiences that I go through? Why? Because they have something in them, whether because of their karma that they inherited or you know, their soul's journey. They didn't have to go through maybe the same experiences as you. They know how to avoid these sharks. Like, it's in their nature, right? And you were just born like a baby seal, looking juicy for these sharks, you know? But not anymore. That's the gift. And once you have that, it becomes second nature. You don't have to put that much effort into it. You just know where to set your boundaries, who to say, like you can tell from a million miles away, no, I don't have to listen to this person. No, this person's toxic. No, this is not for me. I trust in the divine. There's something better, you know? 100%. I need more information. I was guided to do these for a reason. And I can see why, because they're giving very profound messages. And today is a full moon, so I'm not surprised by it. You can't make it up. This is just confirming everything, and then I'm going to move on to tarot. What does it say? Escapist. Come home to yourself. And at the bottom it says, Clover, release your guilt. And that stood out to me, so I'm going to put it right here. Number 35, 32, 21, if those numbers are significant to you, whether birthdays, your age, you can take it in that way. Absolutely. But all these cards have different messages on them. But we got 3 that go hand in hand here. It's you swimming away from a situation escaping a situation, if you want to call it that, so that you can come home to yourself, who you really are. You've lost yourself in some type of situation, is what I'm getting. And I'm getting strongly that there's definitely somebody involved here, like a literal shark. There is a literal shark or group of sharks in the environment. Okay? And because it's saying you have to like escape the situation. And I know, but there's some kind of guilt that you are experiencing inside doing this for some reason, because the clover is here. It says release your guilt. Clover. Maybe there's children involved. You take this as it resonates. It could be in many areas of your life, okay? Regardless of the little details I give. But Spirit is saying, let go of the shame and guilt. That's part of what you're purging. I know that not everything in life is easy, because sometimes you might have the tendency to think about other people more than yourself, but that's part of what we are purging here, okay? That's part of what we're purging here. That is part of what we're purging here. Remember, if it is because you feel guilt, if let's say there are children involved or someone else involved and you're afraid that whatever decision you're going to make will affect them, remember that at the end of the day, you cannot show up in other people's lives in a positive way, in the way you would want to, that will benefit them the most, right? If you are not coming home to yourself, if you are not in your best energy, it is the equivalent of the person that says, I'm going to stay in this relationship for the kids. You know? Countless people are victim to that. People that are adults, you know, that is a very common thing. And then the children grow up with all sorts of trauma because mom stayed there or dad stayed there for the kids. But what are the kids seeing? A loveless marriage, or they're watching abuse or substance abuse, or, you know, and it's almost like, yeah, we know that single parent homes are not the best, but it's still better than growing up in a toxic environment. I'm a single parent myself, you know, and that was a decision I had to make. And I understand that it will never be the same as a 2-parent household, but I know it's better than her seeing things she should not be seeing, you know? And they're giving me that example. Maybe that's specific to you. It doesn't have to be about children though, okay? It's about anything. If you're in a job that, you know, where there are sharks putting you in a toxic energy, all right? You're not gonna show up as your best ability in that job, which is gonna stop you from getting promotions and leveling up. It's also gonna put you in an energy where you're gonna bring that home. And it's gonna affect, it's a domino effect. It affects everything, okay? There's also something here about journaling or reading. She's reading a book here, and in that book, the book is glowing. There are like stars coming out of it. These books are you're going to be guided by the divine to certain books, maybe self-help, to just like read the right things, okay? To guide you through this. So I encourage you, go to Barnes & Noble or Amazon, or maybe even just audiobooks. If you're watching a reading, I'm telling you, audiobooks, you know, should be sponsoring me because I always talk about it. I love audiobooks. And I always say, if you're the kind of person that enjoys listening to readings, right? That means that you like things to be auditory. There's nothing wrong with you can read a book in that same way, you know, have it read to you. It's the same as watching a reading. Okay? I encourage you to do that. You might have a fear of being alone as well, which is why you deal with a lot of the things you're dealing with. They're giving me a lot of different storylines here, so I'm just sharing everything I'm hearing, right? Because that's what I'm saying, like coming home to yourself. Over time, it might be hard in the beginning. You might be battling that, where you do things to fill the void because you don't want to just be alone with yourself. You're being encouraged to do that. And if you, at any point in your life, were a shark, okay? The divine wants you to now release your guilt because we're not perfect, okay? Because you're about to embark on a new journey and they really want you to be spiritually ready for this. I just realized this candle on this table, I've never noticed that. Look, it creates like these rays around it. That's beautiful. I don't know. I can see it on the device, but I don't know if when I upload it, it will like show. It looks like the sunshine, like a sunshine. Looks like the sun. Now we have the Knight of Wands. But again, it shows one person and they're like passionate, living their life, justice, which is balance. Page of Swords. Again, there's a big emphasis on books. Maybe for some of you, you want to write a book, right? But it's interesting that I just spoke about that. And here in the Page of Swords, swords signify your mind, your intellect, it's getting knowledge. She's there reading a book, and then in her hand, she has light bulbs. Like the light bulbs are coming up, right? So you're definitely coming across some kind of information that's going to guide you forward. And it's going to help you come out of this darkness. You see, one side of this Justice card looks dark, and one side she looks very awake, right? You're about to enter a completely new life. And things are going to be, you're going to be like free. It's a joy you haven't felt in a long time is what I'm getting. Okay? It's a passion for life, a joy that you haven't felt in a long time. I almost feel like somebody dimmed your light or something was dimming your light. So they want you to know that you're about to get through that. You're going to get through that. You just got to let go of some situations here. Okay? That's the big change that I see manifesting here. Big time. And if there is something legal happening in your life with the Justice card here, it lets me know that it will end in your favor 100%. So you don't have anything to worry about. What else? Nine of Swords. Yeah, they're telling me that you're again, with the anxiety, the Nine of Swords, something was causing you some kind of stress, but you, on the flip side, come out victorious, standing tall. And the Nine of Wands is all about knowing what comes out of this is you having a new passion for life and you knowing where and how to set boundaries. And that's what's going to benefit you. Okay? And I see from that moment on, new job opportunities, new relationships forming after this process. So just hang in there. All right. I hope that this reached what I needed to reach. So I'm going to pull one from here actually, and then I'm going to move on. See? Yeah, 100%. And then look, we did talk about the Fool's Journey here, and here it is. In this deck, the Fool card is called a New Beginning, but I know I know which one it is. It's the number 0 card. The Spiritual Teacher and a New Beginning. Okay. It says, Spiritual Teacher, there are great rewards in spending time alone. Can you make it up, guys? No, you can't. They're just confirming everything. There are great rewards in spending time alone. Use those moments of solitude to focus on love and the ways in which you might give to those around you. Shine your light as an example for others to follow. Seek out a spiritual mentor of your own if your life feels unfulfilled right now. That's the Hermit card. In this deck, they have different names, but it's the Hermit card. In the traditional tarot, it would be the equivalent. And this is the Fool card, which in this deck says a new beginning. You're at the beginning of a wonderful journey. There's no need to have any fear as guardian angels walk beside you every step of the way. You have unique gifts to offer the world. If you will just free yourself from that which holds you back, new opportunities will present themselves if you believe, if you truly believe. That is like what I'm saying. Like you are about to, it's hard when you go through the death and rebirth process because you are about to literally have a new beginning, and a new beginning comes with a birth, right? Like you might even have some imposter syndrome going after some kind of opportunity, or maybe you want to start a business, but you have unique gifts, it says, for you to offer the world, and you're being encouraged to believe in that and go after that. And maybe that is an omen for you to share your journey with other people. Maybe you're being called to talk about it, open a podcast or a channel, or become a healer of some sort. Okay, maybe that is down the line because you're starting at 0. Okay. And I just picked this up, and I'm going to leave it here after this, but this kind of confirms it to me pretty much. It says, messenger of abundance. Wonderful news regarding your career. A new job, a promotion, or acceptance into an excellent school comes into your life. You might feel ready to do something that's challenging and fulfilling. This situation may involve someone who's fun to be around, sometimes mischievous. This person, who may be you, is youthful, optimistic, and very clever. So take that as it resonates. All right, guys. Love and light. Okay, guys, so this is for the second pile. I'm going to start by reading a message from this book. This book is actually, it comes with a deck, and I have the deck, but I'm not going to be using the deck today. The deck comes with this book. You're supposed to pull a card from the deck and then go to the page that is associated with that card and read the message. But you can use it that way, or you can also just flip through the book and get a message. And I sometimes prefer to do it that way, so that's how I'm going to do it today. So let's see what we have here. The Sun. Wow. So like I said, what we're focusing on today is what is next, what big changes you could be expecting. The Sun is beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and read from here. The Sun is a symbol for life itself. Your heavenly soul was born into a mortal body and given a physical form to experience the truth of who you are. Just as your human identity is an expression of your soul, life on earth is an embodiment of the heavens. And the Sun represents the birthright of all living things to self-express. Energetics, synchronicity, self-expression, identity, vitality, what needs to radiate and shine? Father. Okay? That's right, because the Sun is masculine energy and the Moon is feminine energy. The Sun is associated with the Father, with the masculinity, with masculine energy. And you know that we all have both masculine and feminine energy within us. Actually, what's beautiful is that I never realized that this candle, once you have it lit on this desk, it's the first time I've noticed that, actually creates a sun on the table. How beautiful is that? I'm going to start using this candle for that. It's so pretty. Like you see, it has the rays around it. It's so beautiful. And I don't think it's an accident. Okay, experiences, embodying your truth, the person you were born to be, joy, your experience of masculine energy. Omen, enhance your self-expression by embracing the quirks that make you you. Perhaps you've gone down the very normal, very human rabbit hole of comparing yourself to others. Maybe you have felt some envy or some shame, like you aren't who you're supposed to be. You're being reminded that who you are is exactly right. Your loving guides and angels see you in your entirety. They love you unconditionally and cheer you on as you increase your light. They say, the more you step into your truth, the more powerful your creative potential and the more connected you will feel to your life as a whole. So, can you work on aligning your physical self with the truth of your spirit? The sun is most brilliant as an expression of the moon. Remember, every being, in truth, brings their own unique offering to the collective tapestry. Every individual life matters in the complex web of existence. Allow yourself to step deeper into your authenticity. Radiate, shine, and be seen. You are a gift. I love this. And I hope you don't mind. I never have the air conditioner on. I don't like to, unless I have to, because the noise that it makes in the background is I find it obnoxious when you're hearing this, or especially if you have headphones. But guys, I'm melting. I'm melting. It doesn't matter if I turn it on and let the room cool down and then turn it off. It just gets hot really quickly. I live in the Caribbean. It's very hot. I have to. I apologize. You would think that it wouldn't be so hot right now. It is. 1 second. There we go. Woo! If you would see me, you would be like, wow, do you want a towel? Oh my gosh. They always say it's not the temperature, it's the humidity, which is true. So, what big changes? This is beautiful. You have already gone through the journey, okay? You've experienced maybe some experience in your life where you weren't being true to yourself. You weren't. Maybe you were trying to fit in. Maybe you didn't go after opportunities that you wanted to go after. You weren't living life according to who you are. And this is the beautiful omen that the changes that you're about to be seeing is that you're going to be more in touch with who you really are, unapologetically. And once you do that, honey, you're a magnet. You are a magnet for abundance, okay? You're going to be able to live life with a lot more vitality, okay? I feel like you've already gone through your moon phase. You've been dealing with your shadow. And now, even if you might still be there, but the light is about to start shining. You're about to live life happily again. What I'm being told, you guys know, well, unless you're new here, that I'm also a channeler, so a lot of the information I'm getting is through spirit, and then we'll pull some cards. But, I'm hearing that maybe you lost yourself for a little while. You lost yourself for a little while. You haven't been feeling like yourself. Maybe even fell through some kind of depression because of things you've gone through. Haven't been very true to yourself. It could be because of your environment. Maybe you're in an environment that doesn't feed your soul, that is not a reflection of who you really are. Because your environment is very important, right? But I think you've realized that you need to get your life back, right? I feel like you've been longing to find a vitality within you that you haven't felt in a long time. Maybe you've been in self-isolation for a while. Maybe you stopped taking care of yourself. Maybe you once were the person that always had a nice hairstyle, always cared about your outfit. And these are just examples, you know, and they're very material, surface level things, but not really if you think about it. Because the example that I'm giving is if you were the kind of person in your happiest moments that actually enjoyed getting up, getting dressed, putting on heels or your makeup or your best, you know, outfit, even if you're a guy, whatever, and then you all of a sudden went into hermit mode and stopped doing that, and you suddenly are in t-shirts or whatever all day, right? You start losing interest in the things that used to actually bring you joy. It's actually deeper than what's on the surface level. It's deeper than what's on the surface level, right? And a lot of that can happen if we maybe go through a period of isolation or hermit mode. Maybe some of us, I hate to bring back 2020, what happened in 2020 when we were all locked in for a long time, if you know what I mean. Some people even now, okay, 4 years have passed since 2020, are still dealing with the effects of that, okay? Are still dealing with the trauma of that, of being locked in for a long time, you know, being in pajamas the whole day or sweatpants or whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people are still dealing with that. That could be, you know, one of those things. But it's definitely time. The sun is shining. You're being guided to places, situations, and things to get you back to your optimal self, and therefore also magnetize you so that you can start magnetizing all of the things that you want to accomplish, whether it's a new career, a new relationship, all of those things. Abundance is going to come. When I see the sun, it's a yes card all over. It's abundance is going to be start pouring into your life now. You're about to, everything that you wanted, I'm telling you, even if you're worried right now, you're going to receive it. But it starts with you. It starts with you being authentic to yourself. It starts with you making some kind of an effort here. I'm going to pull one of these cards and see what else they have to say about this. And then we're going to pull some tarot. This is an oracle deck, though, that I don't use very often, but I'm guided to use today. It's called Believe in Your Own Magic. Oh. Lavender. Surrender. Oh my goodness. No, that's not what it says. It says surround yourself with love. That's very interesting. Yeah, potion. And you know, they always confirm everything that we're talking about. Potion. Remember to practice self-love. Okay? 19 and 24. I say the numbers because those numbers could be significant for you. They could signify a birthday, or maybe you're being guided to look up angel number 19, angel number 24. Or actually what I'm hearing is look up, which is a very odd angel number nonetheless, but something will pop up. I'm being told to Google angel number 1924 together. There's a message in there. I don't know what it is, but I'm hearing that you should do that. Okay? It says surround yourself with love. Okay? And remember to practice self-love. There is something that you've experienced, okay? Maybe, again, I was hearing that pushed you to neglect yourself a little bit. Okay? Maybe you have, and she's doing some kind of ritual there. Maybe you have neglected you're lacking, rather, spiritual hygiene. There was a moment where you took those things seriously, and all of that is very important. Praying, cleansing yourself, your rituals, lighting your candles, meditation, okay? I feel like you've neglected that. I just keep hearing the word neglect for a long time. And there's no shame in this. You might literally, since it says surround yourself with love, just been in the wrong place. I'm hearing, I don't have to see the cards to confirm that. I'm literally hearing it. You might have been in the wrong place, the wrong environment. It could be a workplace or somewhere where you live, or around the wrong people in general. All of that carries energies, certain cities, certain places. okay, may clash with you. Whatever it is, it wasn't helping you. It served its purpose already. Everything has its purpose. Okay? Everything has its purpose. Maybe you moved away far from friends and family, okay? And what I see here, surround yourself with love, is you, again, catching up with old friends, catching up with family members. And I'm saying that because that's why I channel before I give messages. When I channeled before even seeing these cards, I kept hearing, getting messages in regards to self-isolation. So that's why I do that in the beginning, because then when I get the cards, it comes together like a puzzle piece. Because I was talking about self-isolation, and now I'm seeing here you having a good time with friends and family members. Okay? What I'm getting is maybe you need to be aware of who you surround yourself with. Even if that means leaving a career, leaving a job. You have to surround yourself with love, places where you feel love. Maybe there isn't anything malicious about where you are right now, but again, it's all, I'm getting there's a very big spiritual side to it. It's mostly energetic. Wherever you're at right now, whether career or in your life or where you live or in your environment, is not energetically aligned with what is best for you from this moment forward. Okay? I need you to get back to remembering that part of self-love is remembering that when you love yourself, you don't put yourself last. You realize that it's important that everything around you reflects the self-love you have within yourself, right? For yourself. It's time to unapologetically leave situations, places, and things that don't make you feel supported, even if you can't even figure out why. It just doesn't feel right. There's just a heavy energy where you're at. Like, you have to make that change. You have to make that change, and it's part of self-love. And you might be afraid to make these changes, I'm hearing, and I'm going to pull cards. But I'm letting you know right now, especially since I see her, she's here doing a ritual. Anything that you try to manifest, or whatever you're trying to manifest right now, whether it's a move, a career, anything, a relationship, anything that you're trying to manifest right now, I'm getting some kind of, maybe some kind of fear about, in regards to whether or not you have what it takes to make this happen. Maybe that you need help with your finances. Maybe you don't know how to make this change. The divine is telling me, don't forget who you really are. Don't forget who you are. You're a very powerful person, and you can manifest anything that you put your mind to. That's the sun energy that I'm getting right now. You're about to remember that. Instead of being down on yourself, remember that anything that you try to manifest, even if it seems impossible right now, you can manifest. But you got to put effort into loving yourself enough to recognize how powerful you are, that you do have what it takes to make these changes. I'm also getting a message in regards to don't forget who's always had your back or who's always been there. Maybe you've been neglecting your friends or your family members. You haven't been giving them enough attention. Maybe you've been ignoring people. And they don't want you to shame yourself for that. It's all part of like the energy you've been stuck in. It's time to start reaching out to those that you love and also ask them how they're doing. In order to receive love, you got to give it too. But don't give it just to receive it. But you got to live that. You got to live that. You got to get the energy flowing, honey. And again, I just keep hearing the message over and over again. Don't forget who you really are. Don't forget who you really are. Everything that you have manifested so far. You are a powerful person. Her shirt says basic witch. That's kind of funny. It's kind of cringy, but it's funny. Right? You know what she meant, like, you know? It's like... But that's crazy to me, because even though it's kind of cringy and funny, because, you know, it's funny because, you know what they were trying to say. The other form of that sentence is basic B, and I don't want to say the word. But when you call someone a basic B, that's not a compliment. It means you're like ordinary. First of all, I wouldn't call anybody that in general, but I'm just telling you what it means. It means you're ordinary. There's nothing special about you, whatever. You know, so with that being said, like, that's an omen right there, is that, and it says, remember to practice self-love, is that you might be there trying to, I'm getting a message, you're trying to manifest something in your life. But you're forgetting how powerful you are. You almost think like you're I don't want to say you're thinking like a basic B. My goodness, I'm not saying that, but you're underestimating how powerful you are and what you are capable of manifesting. You are not basic. Everything that you have, you've manifested, you've been able to create. But something about whatever environment you're in is lacking love, and has like taken you away from remembering how powerful you are. This is also an omen letting me know that you're doubting what you're manifesting for the future. Like I said, I gave those examples. I'm seeing maybe you want to move, you want a new career, some kind of change. This whole reading is about big changes. But here you are thinking like you're basic. Like, who told you were basic, honey? No one but yourself. Like, yeah, I want this, but yeah, how's this ever gonna happen? Or look at my bank account. It's not reflecting what I need to make this change. Oh no, but you can manifest it. I need you to do your rituals. I need you to pray. And I need you to take your actions starting now. I need you to go for things, even if you fall a couple times, because you are going to be blessed beyond belief with everything that you need to create what it is that you're trying to manifest and where you're trying to go, what you're trying to create. The Sun card, like I said, is the best card, if we're talking about tarot, in the entire deck. It is the universal yes card, like in a positive way. It is the most positive card. It is the life force. It is the energy of creation. It is, like I said, masculine energy is all about doing, getting things done, believing in yourself enough to get things done, okay? Creation. Feminine energy is also about creation and fertility, etc. But it's more of a passive receiving energy, and masculine energy is more of like a doing energy. But you're doing things without believing in yourself fully. But what I see manifesting is literally everything you've been trying to manifest. Like, everything is going to come together. You might be trying to manifest a new home. I'm seeing, like, not all cards here depict homes, but these two cards, there's a bedroom here. Beautiful bedroom. It almost looks like it's the same house, even the color scheme. And all of these cards are different. A rug. You're sitting on the floor, so it's like it's your house. You've invited people somewhere where you can invite people over. Beautiful curtains, decorated. So if you are trying to move or trying to find a home or an apartment and you don't know if you can afford it, or you don't know if you'll be able to get what you want, I'm letting you know that what you're trying to manifest is going to come to pass. It is going to come into fruition. And it's going to be beautiful and more than what you expected. It's going to bring a lot of peace. It's going to be a place that's going to allow you to get in tune with who you really are, okay? It's going to be somewhere with really good energy. You're going to be surrounded by very good people, okay? This change is going to propel you forward, okay? Because I feel like you kind of maybe derailed in your path a little bit, but you needed it because you were getting influenced by, I guess, some devil energy, so to say, some things that you had to heal in your subconscious, some kind of doubt, shame, whatever the case may be, or maybe just complacency, okay, which is human. And it said that in that what we read before, complacency, like, you know, going down that human rabbit hole where you get used to the routine and you forget what you're really worth, and you start, you know, and you just do the same thing over and over again, even if it's not really pushing you forward or pushing you where you want to go. But now you're finally getting the vitality to make that change. So, but I'm here to tell you, if you clicked here, if this is resonating with you, what you are thinking you want to manifest, you are going to be able to manifest. You're going to be able to get your beautiful furniture, get your place. You're going to have a very peaceful home. You're going to get back in touch with who you are, and also people, you're going to be surrounded by people that love you and that you love. I also see this as, you know, you making new friends. If you're going somewhere, you know, a new workplace, a new work environment, you're going to meet new people. You're being guided towards your soul tribe, either again, or you're meeting people that are resonating more with your energy instead of holding you back. You have nothing to worry about. And please, when you try to do your manifestations, when you try to manifest something and doing your rituals, you got to do so with belief. And don't forget, don't take God out of the picture, please. I'm a big, you know, a lot of people, especially in Christianity, are like, how could you read tarot and be Christian? You know, like, you can't be truly Christian. If I have my own beliefs, I do believe in Jesus, I do believe in God. I respect you, whatever you believe. Okay? But I believe in God, I believe in angels, and I believe. Okay? I never manifest or try to manifest or do any rituals without calling on gods and calling on the angels for protection. Okay? Because remember, you are not God. There is a God. So when you try to manifest without talking to God, you are acting like you are God. I believe that wholeheartedly, and a lot of people leave that out when they talk about, you know, how to manifest and rituals and what to do. And I always mention that you cannot do that. You cannot do that. If you manifest something, first pray, ask the angels for protection, and always say, only guide me towards this if it's for my highest good, or guide me towards what's in my best interest, okay? Ask for that protection and ask for that guidance every single time. And then you will be guided down the right path. And you got to believe that they are there to guide you. A prayer that I say every night with my daughter, it's a Catholic prayer. So again, if you're not Christian, I'm sorry, and I respect you. But if you are interested, it goes like this. Angel of God, my guardian dear, to whom God's love commits me here, ever this day be at my side, to light and guide, to light and guard, to rule and guide. Amen. Okay? That's to speak to the angels. Then you ask God to guide you and ask for the gift of discernment. And then you do your rituals, your manifestation. That's fine. As long as you make sure that you're protected. Okay? That will also make sure that what you're trying to manifest is in your highest good, but also that you don't have dark entities trying to lead you in the wrong in the wrong direction. Okay? But I see nothing. Again, the Sun card is the happiest card in the deck. pull some tarot here. Whoa. That's so interesting. I was just, and I did mention it, with the High Priestess at the bottom, yep. The High Priestess is your intuition, spiritual awakening, psychic abilities. You are very, very connected to the divine, okay? What I did mention before is that even though the sun came out first, I feel like you've been in a period of like moon energy for a long time, of dealing with like things from that were affecting you in your subconscious mind. The moon is your shadow going, purging, trying to get in touch with who you are, but it's the darkness. It could also lead to isolation. You spend a lot of time healing, trying to heal these things, getting in touch with your divine feminine energy. But you can't get stuck there. You can't get stuck there for too long, right? And there needs to be a balance between the masculine and the feminine energy. And with the sun that came out and the moon here, that is that balance. That's you finding a balance between getting in touch with your feminine side, going, healing your shadow, and actually your sun energy, which is actually taking energy to taking action into what you're trying to achieve. You got to do both. You got to do both. But the big changes that you are now going to experience is that you're ready. Like the divine's basically telling you, if you're here, if you were guided to this deck, this pile, you're ready. You are ready. Maybe you've been trying to make a change, because again, the sun is about action. You're trying to make a change. You're trying to manifest something, right? You're trying to go somewhere. It could be a new home, a move, whatever the case may be. But you're trying to take steps towards it, and then you hold yourself back. You're trying to take steps towards it, and you're trying to hold yourself back because something inside is like, is it not time? You might be getting some kind of anxiety. The divine's here to say, no, it's time. You're on the right path. Keep going, even if you have some kind of fear of the unknown. Anytime you have that fear, close your eyes like this woman is doing here right now, this High Priestess. Connect with the angels and connect with God. They're going to make sure that you remember that you are aligned, you're on the right path. And anything that you have fear that's not going to manifest is actually going to manifest perfectly for you. Wow. I mean, this is freaking beautiful. To have the sun and the moon, which is ultimate balance, and the High Priestess and the Hierophant together. In some tarot decks, the Hierophant's called the High Priest. So again, it's the masculine and feminine energy of the same energy. The High Priestess is the feminine energy. The Hierophant is the masculine energy. So you are ready. You're about to awaken. You're about to enter a new level. The divine is so proud of you. All I see is happiness, like you're, wow. And you're gonna be magnetic. Everything's gonna work out, honey. I love it. And we're talking about masculine and feminine. I just got the chills. I'm talking about masculine and feminine energy. Wow, and now we have the Empress with the world, pregnant with the world. And she has the moon, because remember, and she's on under the moon, that's the feminine energy. You've balanced. You're ready for that. It means right now that's symbolic. Doesn't mean that you have to be, there could be a pregnancy imminent, but I'm not really getting that. What I'm getting is it's symbolic of you being pregnant with a new life. You are fertile right now. You are right on the brink of making that change officially. And once you take these steps, once you just move forward, even if you don't see any results like immediately, it's just gonna keep it's like you're going up the stairs, right? You don't really reach the top until you're right there, then you're blinded by the light all of a sudden, by that sun energy. Okay? You are currently symbolically pregnant with a new life. And yeah, pregnancy symbolically comes with morning sickness, nausea, vomiting, not literally, but you know what I'm saying, like your nerves, I'm saying it symbolically, like it might make you kind of nervous, it might make you not feel well sometimes, you might be doubting it, but this is the divine saying, like, don't doubt anything. Like, you are about to embark on a new journey and have a new life. And everything, again, that you doubt is gonna manifest, is gonna work out, even if you don't even know how. It is. Okay? It is. Just one step at a time is gonna be like a domino effect towards achieving what it is that you want. You gotta really believe that though, and you gotta take some steps towards it. All right? Like if you're trying to manifest a move and you're worried about your finances, etc., then you gotta do stuff to increase your finances, but you actually gotta do it without the worry. And things are gonna go better than you think. All right? This is beautiful. This is you ready to give and receive. And then it's just up from here. Yes. I'm going to pull one from here, and I'm moving on to the next pile. Wow, 8 of action. That's the 8 of wands. Let's see. What does it say? There's so much going on right now that it may feel overwhelming to you, and yet it's wonderful to be so busy with the work that you love. Express gratitude for the blessings of heaven that are taking up your time, even if life feels challenging. If you are asked to travel and take flight, then do so with confidence. They're confirming it all. I'm just going to pull one more, and then I'm going to go into the next pile. Oh, something actually flipped here. I didn't notice it. It says messenger of thought. A new topic or intellectual project is really exciting for you. There's so much to learn before you feel ready to move forward. New information may require changes to your plans. Review all documents carefully. You know will meet or are someone who loves to learn and share knowledge. This person is brilliant and truthful, but also blunt and not very diplomatic. Okay, so this can really also relate to maybe taking a job at a distance. There's so many ways that this is manifesting, and it might seem overwhelming, but I'm gonna let you know that if you get offered a job at a distance or a new job, I'm telling you that you should really accept it with confidence. Everything's gonna be okay. You're gonna be able to. There's a big omen in regards to balance. You might be afraid that whatever you're trying to manifest, you're afraid of how you're going to balance it all, how you're going to, do it all. Maybe you're starting your own business, right? Or a side hustle, and you actually have a full-time job, and you're a parent as well, and you don't know, how am I going to be able to do all these things? But with the Sun card, you're going to be, and the moon here, and all this balance that I'm seeing here, the divine is going to guide you in ways that you can't see right now to be able to balance it all to your benefit. Okay? Beautiful. But I need you again, there is an element of don't neglect yourself, and also don't neglect other people. You might have a habit of doing that when you're stressed. Don't neglect other people. Reach out to those that you know are always like looking out for you, always calling you, always texting you, how are you doing? Or your mom, people that you love. Don't neglect those people. Okay? There's an element of you reaching out. There might be a group of people that you don't give a lot of attention to that are actually going to play a bigger role in helping you out towards something in the future than you actually know. And you're going to be very grateful for that. All right, love and light. Okay, we're ready for pile 3 here, group 3. What we're going to do first is use this book as a form of divination to get some messages for you guys today. This book actually comes with a deck, which is beautiful. I'm not using the deck today. However, the way you're supposed to use it, you can pull a card from the deck and then find the page in the book that goes with that card, and then it has a description. But they have the images of the cards here too, so I find that you could either do it that way, or you could just, use the book this way and pick a card in this format, which is what I'm going to be doing for you today. So I'm going to get one here. We're going to see what it says and read it and then go from there. Remember, this is to see what big changes are happening in your life coming up, what's coming up for you. I'm sorry. I had to turn off the air conditioner because the noise is a little loud, even though it's really hot. See what we have going on here. Wait. Pisces, okay. You could be a Pisces. You might have Pisces in your chart, or this may be related to a Pisces, but remember, this reading is about big changes that are happening in your life. Okay, so it's more about the energy associated with Pisces. So I'm going to read what it says here for you. It says, Pisces, this evolved energy sits at the edge of the zodiac, where the journeying soul dissolves into the ethers from which it came. At home in the spiritual planes, Pisces is tapped into the collective and the divine, Neptune ruled. It feels the collective longing, which comes through as inspiration and is expressed through creativity. These are artists, healers, and gentle beings. Softened spiritual and emotional boundaries make them empathic and even psychic, which also gives them a need for solitude to identify what's theirs and what isn't. Compassion is their gift, and being of service, their highest expression. Profound sensitivity makes Pisces beautiful and also leads it astray. A blurry definition between physical and spiritual, self and other, makes it difficult to know where they end and another begins. It's a confusing energy to experience on Earth, which is why Pisces is also linked to escapism, addiction, and self-sacrifice. Running away or martyrdom can be attractive options as they alleviate the earthly pressure of self-definition. That's very profound. Then we have here the energetics, intuition, sensitivity, compassion, intimacy, and forgiveness. Experiences, psychic connections, serving something greater than self, shadows. Everything and everyone has its shadow, right? Its dark side. No boundaries, martyrdom, escapism, and addiction. Omen. Let your body fade into the atmosphere. For a moment, forget your name and your identity. Connect with your boundless soul. In this ancient place of oneness, can you find forgiveness for yourself and all earthly life like you would a child? Try to live each day seeing the physical world as a sacred illusion and see all human beings as spiritual creatures having a human experience. Forgive yourself and others. It's your path to freedom. Carry this softness with you while remembering you can invite someone into your heart without letting them into your house. I'm going to read that again because Spirit, not the whole thing, just that last sentence, because Spirit just said to me that that is the most important message for you here right now, okay? Carry this softness with you while remembering that you can invite someone into your heart without letting them into your house. That was very powerful. Now you understand why I like to just use the book. I mean, the deck is great, but the deck doesn't have, I mean, I should be sponsored by her. I'm not getting anything out of promoting her book, but a lot of people, when they buy a deck, just ignore the guidebooks and go straight into the cards, right? Which is fine. You can use it however you want. But if she would have just published this alone, it would have been equally or even more successful, you know, because her words, she put everything into her own words, are just so beautiful, truly, you know, like very touching. Her name is Lily Ashwell, so, you know, shout out to her. But, so we're dealing with Pisces energy for you, okay? Remember, this reading is about big changes. Big changes. What's standing out to me in regards to what we just read and what was just, you know, told to me by Spirit and what I was guided to focus on was the fact that you are an empath or someone with very heightened abilities, psychic abilities, or a highly sensitive person, okay? Whether you recognize that or not. But the dangers with that is that, like it said there, you don't know, or at least you've dealt with this a lot in your life, how to connect with someone without enmeshing with them, because you connect with people so deeply and you pick up on people's energy so much that it can confuse you as to what's yours, what baggage is yours, what energy is yours, and what's not. You make other people's problems your own. And then in order not to deal with it, okay, the shadow is not something, it's like a downward spiral. Escaping, right? What's the word? Disassociate. It doesn't say that there, but disassociation, right? Where you like separate from your body a little bit, pretend like things don't exist. That can manifest in a lot of ways, like mindless scrolling on TikTok or watching TV for 8 hours and just like not dealing with your problems or what you need to do. It can manifest in addictions. Addictions don't have to be hardcore substances, though they could be, or alcohol. It could be addictions to habits, patterns of behaviors. It could even be an addiction to escaping, an addiction to like paralyzing yourself and not dealing with things, or an addiction. You could even have an addiction to helping others too much. That's a thing. Because what they had me read twice was that you could allow people into your heart, but you don't have to allow them into your house. Okay? Excuse me. Now, that can be a literal message for you. You know, you will know. You have psychic abilities. So you're very intuitive. So that could be something literally happening into your life, you know? But what they mean by that is your house, as in your temple, all of you, your soul, your body, your whole being. You have to learn how to connect with someone. You could still connect with someone, have compassion for someone, be there for them when necessary, while still enforcing boundaries to protect yourself, not in the name of fear, okay? But by connecting with them, offering compassion, and knowing when enough is enough, and by not allowing them to take too much from you. You don't have to give them everything, right? It's like the energy of like, you can donate. You don't have to donate your entire life savings to make a difference and to make a difference in someone's life or for them to be grateful. I'm sure they would have been equally grateful if you just donated $10 instead of $3,000, right? That's what's changing in your life, is you understanding that, and that's beautiful. And again, if you're new here, because maybe some of you are new, I'm a channeler above all. I will pull cards, but my messages right now are coming directly from Spirit, and I share before I pull cards. So that's why I'm talking to you right now, right? These are divine messages. They are so happy and proud of you for understanding that you're still in the process of those changes, of understanding this. And it doesn't have to, when you have to work on these things, it doesn't just manifest in your relationships with romantic partner. It manifests in every possible way. And then you become resentful, okay? Because you start feeling like people are taking advantage of you, right? I do so much, they do so little. This can manifest in relationships, in career, even as a parent. Obviously, you have to be a little bit more selfless when you're a parent. But let's say you have a teenager that could be a little bit more self-reliant, right? You don't have to give them access to your credit card and unlimited spending, just because you want to buy, because they say they want to go shopping. That's an example, You can have boundaries. They need boundaries. People need boundaries. Not just you, but other people too. Because other people also don't know when to stop. And then who ends up losing you, because then they also resent you. Like, why do you have a problem? I didn't do anything, because you're so open. You let people they just keep going into your house. And what happens? You create a negative loop. You might even become depressed. People take advantage of me. No one takes care of me. I always end up with the short end, with the short end of the stick. But you got to advocate for yourself, and you don't have to speak your boundaries. You can make them clear by demonstrating them, right? That friend that calls you to tell you all the negative things that they're experiencing every day, and it's taking a toll on you, you're okay. It's okay to give them advice once, and then the next time say, listen, I really having a tough time right now. I love you, but I don't want to talk about this same guy that you've been having problems with for the past 5 years. I don't want to give you advice on this anymore. You're allowed to do that. The divine's asking you to put more boundaries in that way. And the changes, what's happening next for you, just doing that, it's going to change your life. It's going to bring you more joy, more peace, sanity. Okay? And you need it. I'm going to pull a couple cards from this. I never really use this Oracle deck, but I'm being guided to use it. You have to tell somebody no. You have to tell somebody no. You might be afraid of doing that, but you have to tell somebody. There's somebody or something you have to say. You have to put your foot down on something. That's what I'm getting. And the changes, what's happening next, the changes that I see happening is you actually embodying this energy, and that's beautiful. Whoa, hold on. Wait. That one said morning, the world awaits you, but it didn't feel right. Oh, interesting. Whoa. Interesting. And this one's actually standing out to me also. 6, 22, and 38, those might be significant numbers to you. If any of those numbers stand out to you, you can always Google the angel number that it represents, and you might get an additional message. 3 things here. Dragons, slay them all. There you are, standing tall. She has a prosthetic leg. I never noticed that. I don't use this deck often, to be honest. I think I've only used it twice. Okay? Library. Take control of your own narrative. Villain. You can always rewrite the story. Okay? There is a need for you to take control of your life. It's coming out in every single card that's coming out here and everything that we said. Here, she's about to smash that shell. Here, she's like a puppet on a string, like people are controlling you, right? And here, even if she has a prosthetic leg, she's not afraid to go in there with a sword and slay those demons. The divine's here to tell you that you have the power to control your own narrative, okay? Because all of this happens, you might become, like I said, very resentful of people. You're starting to see everybody as the villain, and they might be doing wrong. They might be acting like dragons. But unfortunately, it's a dark part of human nature. People will do what they're allowed to get away with a lot of times. You got to remember that. In general, even kids, people will do what they are allowed to get away with, especially if they have tendencies to be selfish. I mean, there's all sorts of people. All right. Maybe there's a small few that have saint-like qualities. But a good number of people, a high percentage, have this capability. People will do what you allow them to do for their own self-fulfilling reasons. And the change that I see coming up for you is you taking control of your life. Once and for all, slaying these dragons, saying no, rewriting your story. Instead of getting into the loop of saying, you're a villain, this one's a villain. Like I said, that's what happens. You waste so much energy arguing with people that are taking advantage of you, are crossing the boundaries. And then, but the one that ends up having to deal with all that stress is you. The divine's saying you got to take some responsibility here. With that Pisces energy, you allowed them, because of the lack of boundaries, to do what they're doing. Doesn't mean that what they might have done or whatever this is about is right, but in order to better help you go on to the next step in your journey in a fulfilling way, in a way that benefits you, they're asking you to please just offer some forgiveness instead of focusing on everybody that's been a villain in your life, and realize that the reason that you have all these negative feelings and why it happens so often is because of the lack of boundaries. And you have now enough knowledge to see, it says the library here. Library, to me, what do you do in the library? You acquire knowledge. You have enough knowledge now to know that you have control over how many villains are in your life. That's the change that I see happening here. Your life is going to change dramatically because you are starting to enforce boundaries. That you're going to start saying no. You have a job, they're asking too much of you. Pull out that sheet with the job description. Where does it say here that I need to do that? You want me to do more? You don't have to be rude to say it. You could say it gracefully, but I'm giving you the energy. You want me to do more? Well, that is the equivalent of a separate job. So I need to negotiate with you higher pay, right? You need to advocate for yourself. And the biggest change that I see happening for you is exactly that. You're gonna do it. You're finding the courage to do that. And it's all up from there, because once you get in this energy, that's a lesson you learn for life. For life. And now the people you're going to attract in your life are people that don't want to go into your house and take everything, symbolically. Right? You might not even lose the people you have in your life right now, but people will learn how to treat you differently. Because maybe the people that are doing too much, taking too much away from you, don't even realize they're doing that because they're so used to doing that. So we're setting a new pattern of behavior here into motion. And it's a beautiful change. I see so much happiness in your future and brighter days. And I feel like a lot of the conflict that you think is going to arise by you coming forward, and what I'm seeing is a situation where you might have to set a boundary, and you think it's going to end up negative or in an argument, but you're ready to deal with it, actually ends up not going as bad as you think. I feel like people are actually going to understand. Because like I said, some people don't even realize they're doing it. With the job example, maybe they're not even aware that they're asking too much of you, but when you actually do bring it up, they're like, you're right. And they actually do increase your salary. That's great. I see those type of changes for you. There's going to be a reward for you understanding this and taking control of your narrative and rewriting your story. Let's pull some tarot here. What else do they have to say? King of Cups. King of Cups, Justice, and the Nine of Wands. That pretty much confirms everything that I was picking up on, because the King of Cups, the Nine of Wands is all about you again. She has that fence. She's standing tall. She has that fence. Like, you could still, it's not blocking anyone from being able to touch her. The fence is only down to her knees. It's from her knees down, but there's still a boundary. There's a boundary there. She's still protecting her house. Like, you could talk to me, but I have a fence around me, you know? That doesn't mean that you can't talk to me. Doesn't mean that we can't be pleasant. With the King of Cups is all about good feelings, being pleasant, okay? I just need balance. With this Justice card, I need to advocate for myself. I need justice here. And again, I see that whatever this relates to, but I see this cannot just, right now, this could be manifesting as in one particular department. But when you make these kind of changes, these are huge life changes, it doesn't just manifest in one department. This starts to manifest in your whole life, and people start perceiving you differently. People start seeing you differently. So people treat you differently by default, okay? This could relate for some people in regards to a relationship that you're in, or someone that you've been dealing with romantically, that I see as the King of Cups here. The King of Cups is somebody that has a lot of feelings and a lot of emotions, but doesn't really wear their heart on their sleeve, okay? Doesn't wear their heart on their sleeve. I feel like if this is in regards to some kind of a relationship, you having these boundaries will allow this person to connect with you in a more balanced and a healthier way. And they're going to be okay with that. They're going to understand that. Okay? They're going to understand that. You know what's interesting? But this might also represent you. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. Because if you look at this deck, I just realized we got the Pisces card. He's wearing a chain or necklace, a chain with a fish on it. And fish, symbolic of Pisces, is Pisces energy, Piscean energy. King of Cups, cups, water sign energy. Okay? So honestly, that, I see that card also as representing you. With the gray hair, it's symbolic of, this doesn't mean you have to lose who you are. It doesn't mean you have to stop being compassionate and giving and who you are. You don't have to lose the essence of who you are. It is just learning the combination of being who you are and also setting boundaries so that you could have balance. So that it doesn't push you to your own shadow of addictions, of escapism, and the stress. The stress comes from this. Okay? If you have been dealing with addictions, this is the big change, is you actually getting through that. Okay? You conquering this. Those are dragons. You slaying those dragons. You taking control of your narrative. You rewriting that story just because I had an addiction to something, or I just, I was escaping, or I wasn't living in a healthy way, does not mean that I have to live like that from now on. And that is the biggest change I see here, and that's beautiful. You are going to be able to conquer whatever's holding you back, and then your life is going to start moving forward very quickly. The Sun card, okay? It's a straight path towards happiness. Manifestation, you become radiant, you become magnetic. You're going to start attracting a lot in your life. I'm going to pull one of these and then that's it. Whoa, too much. No. Healer of abundance. Never doubt that you can make a difference. Your creativity and ability to be innovative make you destined to succeed. It might be time to expand your career, but don't forget to leave time for family. This situation involves a person, possibly you, who's down to earth with a gift for design or decorating. He or she is open-minded and nurturing. All of that is Piscean energy too. Design, decorating. But what does it say here? It might be time to expand your career, but don't forget to leave time for family. Again, that might be part of what's going on here. I did give the career example. Absolutely. Where you're taking on too much of other people's energy and you're allowing them to take too much from you. And I see you setting a boundary, but the outcome is positive from it. So if you're afraid to set these boundaries, don't, because it is the stepping stone towards just a new way of living life in general that brings abundance to you. All right, love and light. So I'm going to leave this here. And I hope that this reached you how it was meant to. Much love.